Hi everyone, welcome to a little look behind the scenes at my recent Halloween workshop. We had makeup by the wonderful Jolie Artistry, and here's just a sticky beak at all the staff, a little sneak peek at the headpiece behind there. We also had model Skye, who stepped in at the last minute. So just a little behind the scenes of all the setup. We had all sorts of things. I know the pumpkin technically isn't sort of Day of the Dead, but that's okay. We had lighting by Neewer, and we were using some soft boxes by Phottix. We also had lots of candles and other things. I also had the Godox 8200 Pro with the ADS 200 on it, with the barn doors that we set up sort of to give a little bit of a rim light as well. So I'm just running around turning on all the LED lights. We also had some proper candles as well as the fake candles. So I was just going through, I was explaining the setup to everybody, welcoming Skye in for the shoot, all done up with the fabulous makeup and the headpiece that we created that morning. So Jolie sat down and spent a bit of time putting this whole headpiece together, which just looked absolutely fabulous, just with some artificial flowers and stuff like that. I went through how I set all the lights up using a light meter. I also then explained through to everybody how to use the grey card so they could set their white balance, especially when we had so many bright colours like red and orange and things like that. Using a light meter and a grey card is always a really good place to start. So once we did all that and got all our shots and everything set up, it was time for everybody to jump in and grab some photos. Like I said, we had some really cool lights and props and things like that to play with. Something else that we had was, I've just bought this new Telesin mini fogger, which is absolutely fabulous. I wasn't 100% sure when I first got it because I hadn't played with it enough really to figure out how to use it. But once I started playing with it, I used it in a couple of still life shoots and just practicing with it in the studio, and I got it to work really, really well. So playing around, we had lots of different props. So we had fans, we had the skull that you can see in the foreground, we had the candelabras, the pumpkin. Of course, we were having lots and lots of fun playing with the smoke and stuff. So we were just working our way through the set, just getting some establishing shots, and then we could come back and we could play with some of the other things. So you can see Skye there with the skull, who I have named Henry. I don't know why. It's just a name that he got and it sort of stuck with him. So we're just playing around, like I said, with different things. With the lighting, like I said before, we had two Neewer Q6, and that's just me there using the Telesin fog machine on the dry ice, which was very, very cool. It hangs around on the set. But like I said, so we were using the light. So we had the Q6, which we had set up so you can just see that flashing around. I had an 85 centimeter Octobox with a beauty dish on one light, and I had a 65 centimeter Octobox with the beauty dish set up on the other light. And we had one as a main light, one as a fill light, and then I had the Godox 8200 Pro with the ADS 200. You can just see behind the chair, and that was just causing a little bit of separation between our model and the backdrop. So lighting setups, I think I had it on, our main light was I think on an 8th power. I had our fill light on a 16th power, and of course the light behind our model was on 132 power. We're just playing around. I ended up putting the smoke machine inside the pumpkin, and we had the dry ice effect sort of coming out of his mouth and all the rest of it, while Skye was holding Henry the skull, and everyone was just coming up and taking shots. So a lot of this is just repeat, 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 so that everybody could get similar shots. Everyone had a chance to come up and direct and get the photos that they wanted, and then they would stand back and let somebody else come in and get a shot as well. So just playing with a variety of props. I've got big boxes full of Halloween props that I pulled out. So we had this spell book and we put the fog machine behind that. So we were having a lot of fun playing with different props and the fog machine and just getting some cool, creepy sort of stuff. It was loads of fun. So what I did here, I had a little iris light by Harlowe and I turned it on and I put it inside this little sort of treasure box. So when Skye opened it up, it would light up and give some cool creepy effects. And I put the Aurora filter on it because you can put little filters on these lights so you can see that it changes the color. I'm just playing with my creepy little tarantula there. So, and of course we were trying to put the fog machine inside the box as well, so we had the light and the fog, but it wasn't quite working the way we thought it would, but because it was just a little bit too big. But that's all right, we sort of persevered with it and played around and we still got some really cool effects. So we spent just a little bit of time playing around with that. We also had put some gels and things on the lights. So we had blue and red just to give some sort of creepy sort of vibes to it as well. Then what we did was I invited our model to sort of stand up and we pulled this set apart. So I've just speeded everything up so you don't have to sit through it all, but we turned everything off, moved everything around, pulled it to the side so that we had a bit more room to play around with some other props and things like that. By moving everything out of the way, it meant we had a chance to do some more full body shots. We were still playing with the smoke. We were just grabbing full body shots but sort of mixing it up. We could also do some movement and things like that. We were actually having a little bit of a technical hitch with some of the lighting. So what I ended up doing here was I switched out the Neewer Q6 for the 2 more Godox AD200 Pro, and then I reset everything. So I ended up getting the light meter out and rechecking all my settings and going through all of that. It turned out that the problems that we were having weren't even the Q6. We were still continuously having, it wasn't firing all the time. So we had lots of hiccups that we were having with the lighting. But we persevered and we worked our way through and we still got some really good shots. So between using a high-speed sync on the speed lights and using burst mode on the cameras, some of them were just doing the old 1, 2, 3 counter in. So we had a bit of fun. We were getting Skye to do some twirls and spinning. We had quite a few different sort of skirts and things like that we could get some action happening and she could throw them a bit. So we were playing around with that for a while and having loads of fun with some beautiful sort of drapey action shots with her moving. Of course, we just keep getting Henry out because it's not a Halloween shoot without a skull, is it? So just playing around with that. More smoke. Everyone just coming in, getting more and more shots. I then got out this old frame and we were playing around with that. It's kind of fun sometimes if you've got some people who've got some really cool Photoshop skills that they can sort of get like rid of the body on the bottom and just have the person coming out of the frame. But for those who are not really into Photoshop or whatever, sometimes it's really cool just to get some of these shots. So that was pretty much towards the end of the shoot. We did pull the veil up over Skye's face so that we could get some shots through the veil. So you can just see me there just trying to get the veil up over her head so we could get some shots of that. But like I said, this was pretty much the end of the shoot. So we then did our usual, I invited everybody up to take a group photo. Most photographers hate getting in the photo, and I know that, I do too, but I do like to get these behind the scenes shots. Normally I'm in the shot as well, but I didn't have my tripod and I couldn't be bothered setting it up, so I just wanted a couple of quick shots with everybody else in it. As you can see, lovely small group. It was very much a hands-on learning workshop with lighting, and we had loads of fun playing around today. It was fabulous to get everybody in and really sort of jumping in, hands-free, directing, posing the model, asking lots of questions and doing stuff like that. After we did all that, I thanked Skye for helping us out for today, and then I got Skye to draw our door prize for today. So we had a fabulous prize, which was Film Pack 8, which was given to me by DxO so that I could give out as a door prize for today's workshop, and that was won by Rachel. So it was just really nice to be able to give a little bonus extra to everybody who came to the workshop, and Rachel was very excited to receive her prize. So a massive shout out to DxO for supplying this for me. Also, I'd just like to give a quick shout out to Neewer for the DX6 studio lights that we were also using in this day's workshop. So that's it. Thanks for joining me for a little look behind the scenes at this workshop. It was loads of fun. I generally run a Day of the Dead, either a shoot or a workshop every year for Halloween. So it was fabulous to do that. So if you did like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, maybe subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.